Yes, so let's get into it. We made it to Friday, man. Congratulations to everybody for making it to Friday. Los Tres Chingones Boxing. We got the Chingones here. Let's go ahead and let's bring them in. You guys can catch my man on his new show. I want him to talk a little bit about it. I'm talking about from Florida, Mr. David Contreras.
Hey, brother, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Good, man. Just here. Glad the week is coming to an end, at least for me and for most people. To some people, this could be the first day of the week for them, But but for me, it's here. It's at the end, man. But let's bring in from Mike Angelino Boxing. We call him the boxing scientist, Holmes. Mike Angelino, Mike Zavala.
Thank you, brother, for the intro, man. Science, cocksuckers. Science, baby. Boxing is a science. What's up, Dave?
Yes.
What's up, man?
What's going on?
Sweet science, Holmes. Hey, David, before we get started, man, you want to tell us just a little bit about your new show that they can find on YouTube?
Yeah. It's called The Gray Line, the story behind the blue line. And there was going to be 3 Chicanos on the show, myself, Benny Cruz, and Sergio Camacho, but he had some issues that came up that he has to take care of. We were looking forward to having Sergio, but now we have a very good friend of mine that I worked with San Diego PD. He's a 32-year veteran, a SWAT commander, and by the name of Murphy. We call him Murph, Sean Murphy, and this guy brings in the tactical portion of the show. Benny Cruz, 42-year veteran of the San Diego Sheriffs, brings in the investigation portion. Me, a 32-year veteran of the San Diego Police Department and the California Department of Corrections, I bring in the gang and also the Mexican cartel and also the Mexican kidnapping portion of it. So altogether, it's going to be an outstanding show. This Tuesday at 6 p.m., we have Mundo Mendoza, a former Mexican mafia hitman who's killed many of people. He's going to be our first guest on our show. He'll actually come in with a mask because there's still a hit on him and people don't know where he lives, where he stays. The guy's over 70 years old now, and if somebody sees him, there's a green light on him. People still want to kill him today. And he'll be our first guest. The following week, we got Faustos from Faustos Bail Bonds. We got the real guy, Ruben Palomares from Training Day is going to be on. Dude, we're going to have so many great guests come on every week. So we're excited. And we're also going to be talking about current events. Like right now, St. Louis or Memphis is releasing the video of that young man that was beat and killed by 5 police officers. We'll be talking about those type of current events. And you'll be hearing it from former law enforcement. We have a lot of experience, so it's going to be a great show. But listen, we're here to talk about boxing. But if you get a chance, every Tuesday at 6 p.m., the Gray Line, the Gray Line, the story behind the blue line.
Yes, so man, you guys make sure you guys go check it out. Yeah. Exciting stuff over there, gentlemen. Let's go ahead and let's talk a little bit about the fight that took place last Saturday across the pond, man. Liam Beefy Smith versus Chris Eubanks Jr. I actually thought that Chris Eubanks Jr. was going to win that fight. I think both of you guys were going for Liam Beefy Smith.
Yeah.
And, man, I thought Eubanks was actually going to finish him off, you know, going into the fight. The fight turned out to be something completely different, and there are some allegations, and we'll get into all that stuff as well by Chris Eubanks Jr. But for one, David, what did you make about the fight across the pond, man?
You know what? I didn't think it was going to be, a fourth round knockout, and the way he was knocked out. But I saw the video. I saw the controversy. I saw him holding him and basically had him with an arm bar before he came out with a knockout punch. I saw that, and I've been studying it. But like they say, man, protect yourself at all times, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, protect yourself at all times. I didn't think it was going to be an early knockout, but I predicted it. Mike and I predicted that it was going to be a knockout, but I did not predict a fourth round or third round knockout. I thought it was going to be later on in the rounds, and I was expecting a better fight, to be honest with you, more of a boxing chess match. But I was pleased. I'm glad. Now I'm looking forward to see who the Beefy fights next.
What's up, SSC? Gracias, man. Gracias, you can make it. Mikey, you saw it, man. What did you see?
Yeah, man. I always knew Beefy Smith as a dog. He gave Munguia a great fight. He gave Canelo a good fight while it lasted. He was getting Canelo with tricks, with putting Canelo's glove down when Canelo was in the rope with the high guard. Le bajaba la mano. Boom. He was doing it, and he did it numerous times. Like, hey, this guy has colmillo, what they say. He has experience, and he's a dog, man. And we see, and we didn't talk about this, Ed and Dave. Correct me if I'm wrong, but what I've read is that Liam Smith moved up to 160 to fight. He's a 154 pounder, and this is his first fight at 160. There to be great, and he fought a good opponent. What's his name? Chris Eubanks Jr. isn't. Oh my God, but he's pretty good, and he's being trained by Roy Jones Jr. He has a good name. And he walked through him, dude. He has power at 160 pounds, so he could campaign at 154 or 160. You know how many fights at 154? There's Danny Garcia's. Spence is gonna move up to. There's Charlo's. There's some good fighters at 154. And he could fight Triple G at 160. So I believe in Beefy, even though he's getting a little older, but he's a dog, man, and he'll give Triple G a great fight or Charlo a great fight at 154.
Yeah, I like Beefy. I like him as well, man. I just really thought that Chris Eubanks was gonna be bigger, which he was bigger, and I just thought he was gonna go ahead. And I was kind of thinking Beefy might be on his way out. I mean, both of these guys, none of these guys are really young, but I just thought Chris Eubanks was be too much for him. But man, you know, once he got dropped, here's what I was watching my boy G Funky. What's up, Joaquin Zamora? Shout out there. Shout outs to New Mexico, Holmes. I was watching my boy G Funky, and he said, he said like who predicted this or whatever and everything like that. And I pretty much said, you know what the problem is, or not the problem, but one of the problems with how he lost in that fight. Think of Tyson Fury, okay? Think of whatever that you want to think about Tyson Fury. He is well aware of the situations. When he gets knocked down, he stays down and he looks at the ref. And at that 8-second count, he gets up. He's like, okay, I'm hurt. Let me stay down. Let me get my bearings together. I'm looking at the ref. I'm looking at the count. I'm seeing what's going on. I'm aware, but I don't want my mind to be like, hey, you're okay, and then stand up and then be all wobbly and falling over because your legs are still not under you yet.
Mm-hmm.
I like that of Tyson Fury. When it came to Chris Eubanks Jr., as soon as he went down, he tried to pop up. Yep. And he's trying to stand up, and then he's walking towards Liam Smith. And Liam Smith at one point had to switch corners because, the ref sends him to a corner. Hey, stay there while I count him down. He gets up, and he's kind of stumbling towards Liam Smith. Liam Smith has to move to another corner. God, give yourself the seconds. Stay down. You're already counting knockdown. Okay, it's already counting. This whole thing of like, I'm dropped. Let me get back up. You're down. It's counting that you're dropped. Stay down. Look at the ref. Look at the count. There's plenty of fighters that you've seen that has done this, that have taken one knee or that have dropped. And if they get up and they stay on one knee and just letting the ref know, I'm here. I'm seeing your count. Do not count me to 10. I'm going to stand up on my foot once you reach 8 or 9, whatever it may be. But that awareness, Chris Eubanks doesn't have that. He dropped. He gets up. He's falling all over the place. The referee lets it go again, which I kind of thought the ref was going to wave it off because Chris Eubanks didn't have his legs under him, but he let it go on, and it just didn't last, man, because he does not give himself. Now, maybe he would have recovered, maybe he wouldn't have. I'm just saying, I always think of Tyson Fury when he gets knocked down and he stays down and he says, okay, cool. Let my body catch up with my mind. I'm gonna get up. Mikey, do you make anything of that, big dog?
Yeah, Ed, that's a great point. You brought it last time, and yeah, I seen a fighter. Is it Lamar Brewster when he knocked out one of the Klitschko's? He did exactly what you did. I got to look at the tape. It's Lamar Brewster versus somebody. He did the exact same. And also, Ed, when you were saying this, I made a connection. Remember Zab Judah versus Costasu? Costasu rocked Zab Judah, and then Zab Judah did the funky chicken. He was all over the ring, just like Eubanks, and he lost. And I think he punched the ref. So it happens, man. You got to have the IQ. It's the experience. Tyson Fury, he's been there. He has experience, and his coaches. It all has to have a factor, and Eubanks doesn't have it, man. I'm sorry. Yeah.
David, you make anything of that?
No, you know what? I think it's pretty easy to Monday morning quarterback. You know what I mean? Yeah. Say what we want. But when you're in that ring, I mean, if it's a flash knockdown, I could see that. You know what I mean? Get back up. But you have to have a lot of discipline. And I you know what? This guy, I don't think he's ever been hit that hard. I don't think he's ever been knocked down the way he was knocked down. So I think it just completely caught him by surprise. And his reaction was to fight or flight, fight or stay down. He got up immediately, but he was done, man. I mean, you saw it in his legs. Even if he would have waited the 8 seconds, I think he was done because, I mean, I think he just was incoherent, didn't know where he was at. His equilibrium was off. But you know what? I agree with you. If you could be that disciplined to, after you're knocked down, to tell yourself, I'm going to stay here for 8 seconds while I gain my breath or get my strength, that is awesome. But I mean, I've never been in that situation, in a ring like that. But I believe it takes a lot of discipline, and kudos, for those that have that discipline.
Yeah, because I've seen fighters like Tyson Fury is one of them.
Yeah,
he gives himself like 15 seconds. Once everything's done, he'll stay down for like 8 seconds, get up, and then the referee has to still ask him, "Are you okay? Walk to that corner. Walk back to me." After all that is done, you're probably counted. It's probably about a good 15 seconds that you're really giving yourself a chance to try to get back into it. Is 15 seconds enough? Was he hurt that bad? Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. But I'm just saying, like, you get hit, you're rocked, you touch the canvas, and then you try to pop right back up and you're falling all over the place. I would just say, man, try to stay down. But yeah, it does take a lot of discipline. Let me ask you guys this, man, before we get into the whole controversy that's going on with this fight. Roy Jones Jr., David, what do you make of him as a trainer? I mean, he was a great fighter. At his time, in his prime, I think he was probably the best. But what do you make of Roy Jones Jr. as a trainer?
There's only one Roy Jones Jr. And during the fight, Mike and I think we're talking about it. I don't know if we were texting, but we talked about it. There's only one. And all these guys that he's training, for whatever reason, want to copy his style. And not everyone can fight like Roy Jones Jr. And I believe that he needs, if he's going to continue training, he needs to capitalize on the strengths of his fighters instead of trying to teach him his style of fighting, because there's only one Roy Jones Jr. and everybody that I've seen him train mock his style of fighting, and they end up getting hurt, a lot of them. So I truly do believe. I mean, look at Eric Morales. He's not teaching Jaime Munguia how he fought. He's trying to teach him, believe it or not, some defense, and Jaime's not listening. So I think, answering your question, I think Roy Jones Jr. needs to capitalize on the fighter's strength instead of teaching him his style of fighting. And if the guy's mocking him or not mocking him, but copying him, tell him, knock it off. We need to work on your strengths. That's what I think about him. Yeah.
Yeah, que ole, dos matador. Joaquin, I agree. Easier said than done. I completely agree, man. I like the fighters that are that disciplined, that stay down for that count. And then when they get up, and then the referee still has to wipe the glove. The referee still has to tell him to walk to that corner, come back. It's about a good 15, maybe even 16 seconds before he says, all right, fight, So, much easier said than done. Mikey, Roy Jones Jr., man, you've seen him in the ring. We all seen him in the ring. The guy, when he was at his prime, the guy was magic in there, man. But as a coach, what do you make of him?
Yeah. By the way, he has a fight, I think this Saturday or something, or coming soon. He has another fight, exhibition or something, with some buff dude. I don't know if you've seen it, but I don't know. Sometimes the best fighters aren't the best trainers. I got to really think about it. And Roy Jones had fighters before, and he hasn't really fought a fighter that he coached, trained, and brought him to the promised land. And he was trying to mock him. I looked at the fight. He was trying to do a little bit of Roy Jones, and he got caught, man. Like Dave said, I think Roy Jones needs to go back to the drawing table and bring the best out of the fighters' strengths, right? And work on their weaknesses and not trying to make them like him. I do agree with that. Eubanks is good, man. We'll see where he goes. But he's athletic. He's strong. I seen him whoop ass, man. So I don't know. And he got beat by a 154-pounder that moved up. So that's kind of weird. But we'll see.
Yeah, Joaquin right here is basically agreeing with you guys, man, saying you can watch Roy Jones Jr., but nobody can be Roy Jones Jr. God-given ability. Exactly. And some, man, because when that dude was in the prime of his career, that guy was something. He would keep his hands down.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Down to his legs, man, and he could hit you with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 combinations, just like. It was crazy to see. It was crazy to see Roy Jones Jr. in his prime. I agree, man. You being a great fighter, you got to be more of a great. Not to say that a great fighter can't do it, but you got to leave that fighter thing out of it. What you were great at, your ability, how you fought, how you got down, you got to get that out. And you got to, just like you said, David, and you got to look at the fighter that you have in front of you and say, okay, let me go ahead and dissect what's your weaknesses, what's your abilities, and your opponent that you're going into. Let me see his weaknesses, his strong points, and you got to start playing chess. But you can't start teaching a fighter, the greatness that you had, especially if it was like what Joaquin said, basically God-given ability, man. So Roy Jones Jr., I don't know, he was there with Jean Pascal for a little bit. It didn't last too long. I don't know if he could be a great coach. I doubt it. I think he could probably help a little bit here and there. I don't know. I wouldn't put money on him being, a great coach. I wouldn't. I think he can help out in a camp. Go for it, Mikey.
No, yeah, and Ed, like what's the name said, God-given abilities. When you have God-given abilities, you don't worry about the fundamentals, the defensive responsibility, keeping your hands up, staying tight. That guy, like you said, he used to fight with his hands down and hit you in angles and footwork that we never seen before. This was like the Matrix before the Matrix, Lomachenko. It's just something that you don't do. That's the things. What Roy Jones did are the things that they teach you not to do. But he was so God-gifted. He had God-gifted ability that he got away with it. He got away with doing with no hands, hand behind his back and hitting some dude and knocking him out. It's because God gave him, blessed him with that ability. And Chris Eubanks, he has to work on his fundamentals, staying tight, hands up. Yeah.
Well, hey, what's up, Box Talk? My boy Box Talk in here. He's in here trolling, man. Roy Jones Jr. was cool, but Rolly was sleeping. If you guys don't know, okay, so Box Talk 101, he's good friends with Rolly Romero. So that's why he's saying that him and I, one night we had a long argument back and forth of who would win, Rolly Romero or George Kambosos. I would pick Kambosos. He's going with Rolly Romero. And I honestly, I want to make that. I hope that fight gets made. I would really love to see that fight get made, man. Hey, Box Talk, let's speak that fight into existence, Box Talk. I really want to see Rolly Romero versus Kambosos. I would love to see that fight. But hey, okay, so there's some controversy with the fight now. Chris Eubanks Jr. is protesting, saying that it was a bad punch. It was an illegal punch behind the head. It was a rabbit punch, and the referee should never have counted it as a knockdown. He should have had the time to recover. Man, Leon Beefy Smith has come out and said, hey, how about we just have a rematch instead of you protesting this? You know, David, what do you make of this?
You know, yeah, just have a rematch. But I don't think Chris Eubanks Jr. is going to agree on a rematch, according to what I'm reading. But yeah, have a rematch. I mean, I think it'd be a great rematch. What do you guys think?
Yeah, Mikey?
I mean, that's a solution, right?
I would think it's a solution, but I just think, I don't know if he wants the turn reverse or it'd be a no decision or what. But I mean, they're not going to give him a victory over it, you know? So it could just be a no contest.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
But yeah, go for it,
according to what I read, they're going to give him a no contest, and he has 2 to 3 weeks to turn in the paperwork or however it works, whatever channels they go through. But he has 2 to 3 weeks window to decide if he's going to do it. And like you said, Beefy Smith said, when we do the rematches, he also said, like, dude, you're looking ridiculous. I knocked you out. They stopped it. They did everything at the same time. What Chris Eubanks said he never experienced, never been stopped, never been dropped, never been this, and it all happened in one sequence. And so you know what I mean. So he needs to just shut his mouth and get the rematch. He's looking ridiculous, man. You know?
Yeah. Box Talk. Hey man, you guys go check out Box Talk 101, man. Hey, Box Talk, one day we're gonna get into it. You and I, we're gonna talk about that, big dog, one-on-one. What's up, Raider? You know the thing about Chris Eubanks Jr., man? He fights at 160, and he's over here messing around with somebody from 154. He's calling out Conor Benn from 147. Like, hey, Holmes, when are you gonna start, fighting dudes at 160? You fight at 160. Why are you over here messing around with all these smaller guys, man? Telling them move up and let's go to catch weights. And why is your focus down there? So, yeah, I hope there's a rematch. I would pick Leon Beefy Smith to beat him again. I just
hey, Ed, but you got to remember, he thought that he was going to win this fight, and he was actually calling out Triple G. So that was his next opponent. So he was going to fight the world champion Triple G, and I think they were already talking about negotiations, because according to what I'm reading and also on our Wednesday show, somebody mentioned Triple G said he's not fighting Jaime Munguia. So right. I think there was some type of negotiations going on, and I think that everybody thought that he was going to win, like yourself. But he was calling out Triple G, and he thought he was going to fight him next, and that would have been a pretty good fight. Triple G would have beat him.
Yeah, Box Talk is saying, I thought Eubanks looked a little too lax in that fight. Yeah, I think everybody, except for these two gentlemen right here next to me, they're picking Leon Beefy Smith, but I thought Chris Eubanks was going to beat him. And I think Chris Eubanks maybe was a little bit too relaxed and not taking it too serious and looking past him and everything like that. And yeah, Triple G has came out saying that he's not interested in fighting Munguia. Now, however, there is talks about Liam Smith possibly getting in there with Triple G. What do you make of that fight, David?
You know what? I got Triple G beating him.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, I got Triple G beating him.
Okay, Mikey?
Yeah, because he's not a 160 fighter. He's 154. He's going up to 160. Triple G's, I mean, that guy, even though he's 40 years old, you know what? The last thing that goes is that strength, is that man punch. And you know what? I got Triple G winning that one. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't even, it'd be a good fight, but Triple G.
Okay.
I like
Mikey?
I like that. I like that fight. That Leon Smith needs to go to the body. Yeah, that's Triple G's weakness, and also he is 40 in boxing. You could get old the next day, so we haven't seen that in Triple G. But Triple G didn't look phenomenal when he fought Canelo. Well, of course he fought Canelo, but he can get old the next day, and that could be a chance. The fight they probably have the fight in England, so that's the he's gonna get the crowd in his favor, and he has to work the body, man, and have a perfect game plan. And I believe in Beefy, man. It'll be a good fight, man. It's a banger. But Triple G has that power, man. Jesus Christ.
You know what? I'll probably go out on a limb here, man, and say that I would maybe possibly favor Beefy Smith, man.
Oh,
I
wow.
probably would. Just for the reasons that you just gave, Mikey. Triple G, he's
40.
He's not staying active. He is getting older. Yes, power's the last thing to go. And I wouldn't be surprised that Triple G wins. Absolutely not. To me, it's a 49-51 fight. I would probably favor Beefy. Man.
That's a good fight, man.
It would be good. I would like to see it. Triple G schools a lot of the pups. Man, I think Liam can possibly pull it off, man. I think I probably just want to root for Liam just because I think Triple G's on his way out. So hopefully, man, we could get that fight made. So yeah, there's that fight. If not, a rematch with Eubanks and Liam Smith, but I don't think Liam is that interested. I think this crushed his ego, his confidence. So, and he's just looking bad, trying to say like, oh man, trying to protest to the BBBC and everything. It's just a bad look, man. It's just a terrible look. So, moving on, guys. I know we got the fights tomorrow. We'll definitely get into those. Virgil Ortiz against Montes Steniones. That fight was put on hold. It's back on. They announced it. It's back on for April. Man, I cannot wait for this fight. I was already concerned, saying, come on, man, I need to see Virgil Ortiz in the ring, and he needs to be in the ring. He cannot be waiting around for anybody. Get in that ring. Stay busy. Let's go, man. Get in there. Get him. We got him coming in against Montes Steniones. Hopefully, there's no more delays on that fight. Two undefeated young fighters. David, what do you make of this?
Great fight. I mean, thank God that they're finally going to make it on April 29th. Looking forward to it. It's going to be an outstanding fight.
Mikey?
Yeah, man. Before I got into really studying Virgil Ortiz's opponents, and we broke it down last week, right? He fought every style, bangers, movers, lefties, everything. I think he's too much for this. For this, it looks good. On paper, Steniones is a banger and all that, but Virgil Ortiz isn't just a banger. Although he has 19 fights, 19 knockouts, he has footwork, man. I don't know, versus Orozco, somebody, he showed phenomenal footwork. He knows how to cut ring. He does have boxing ability when he needs to. He does a little bit of everything. Like I said, he faced every style. I think Virgil Ortiz is gonna be too much for him, man. Too much IQ. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
This is a great fight. And you know what? What goes on after this fight? Joaquin is saying Austin Trout fighting Diego Sanchez, bare knuckle boxing on February 17th.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, Austin Trout. I remember him, man. He was he's from New Mexico. He's from New Mexico, Austin Trout. Yeah. But when it comes to this fight, man, I just could not wait for this fight. And then, it's Steniones pulled out or he got hurt, I mean. And I was just like, oh, man, what happens with Virgil now, And I'm glad that this fight's back on. And from what I am seeing and reading and hearing all over the place is if Virgil does win, he should be getting in there against Terrence Crawford. There should be some sort of mega fight between those two later on this year. Should Virgil get past Montes Steniones, and whatever Crawford decides to do or not do. You know, he might not be getting into the ring. I don't know. There's really nothing in the works for Crawford at the moment. He might be getting into the ring before that. He might not be getting into the ring before that. David, I mean, if Virgil beats Montes Steniones and he does it, you know, in an impressive style, again, who's Steniones? He's an undefeated fighter, but he only got 14 fights. I think this is only going to be his 15th fight. But Crawford versus Ortiz later on this year, man, what do you make of that fight? And is Ortiz going to bite off a little bit more than he can chew?
No, I think he's ready for Crawford. I think he's ready for Crawford without a doubt, and Errol Spence. I'd like to see him fight Spence before Crawford, though. The reason why, because there's more money in that. They're both from Texas. They could have it at Cowboy Stadium. Without a doubt, they could probably fill it up. That would be a great fight. I think he's ready for him. I think he's ready for Crawford and Spence, without a doubt. That'd be a great fight in September.
Okay, Joaquin. Yeah, they are both from I remember Diego Sanchez from the Ultimate Fighter show. Yeah. So he's an MMA guy. Mikey, what do you make of that fight, man?
Yeah, Crawford versus the young gunner. It's time. It's the changing of the guards. Yeah. I love my boy Crawford, man. He's dangerous with both hands. Virgil could get hurt, but Virgil could hurt Crawford. Crawford does get hit, and Virgil has tremendous power. This is a great fight. And this could be the changing of the guards, man. And if Virgil dethrones one of the kings at 47 or the king at 47, Virgil, that's sky's the limit for Virgil, man. And I think he will be victorious, man. This is a great fight. He's just young.
When people usually say, hey, do you think he's ready for him? I think people take it different ways. I think people take it like, okay, does that mean that he can beat him? For me, it doesn't. To me, it's just, hey, do you think he can go in there and give him one heck of a fight? You know, are we going to see a great fight, or are we just going to see a one-sided fight or a good 3 rounds and then the other fighters get to dominate the rest of the fight? It's like, no, can he be in there? Can he compete? Can he make it a close fight? Can he make it a great fight, man? So, yeah, I think oh man, I think he is, but I can also see Crawford, man, just kind of, kind of schooling him a little bit here and there. Look, this fight, Virgil Ortiz versus Steniones, this is only Virgil's, I think, 20th fight. So when if he actually gets in there with Crawford after this, that would only be his 21st professional fight, man. So, but I like the kid. The kid is dedicated. The kid, everything about that kid, man, it just reminds me why I love boxing, because of kids like that. I love watching that kid fight, man. His demeanor, everything about that kid, man. So I'm a huge fan of his. But moving right along, before we get into the fights tomorrow, according to I just had it right here. Jack Tiernan. According to Jack Tiernan, the Devin Haney versus Lomachenko fight, the negotiations have stalled due to money, and it's basically just saying they can't bridge the gap at the moment, whatever any of that means. But negotiations for Devin Haney versus Lomachenko have come to a halt. David, do we get this fight? What do you think is the problem? Who's holding it up? What's being held up? Are they arguing? Should it be in the States? Should it be somewhere else? What's going on? Do we ever see this fight happening?
I think we'll see it. I mean, just like I think we'll see Tank and Garcia. I think we'll see it. I think this is all part of the promotional process. You know what I mean? To get people like us and everybody else to talk about it. But I think we'll see it. I think we'll probably see it in June, July. Whatever negotiation, whatever problems they're having, they're going to solve them, because you know what? There's too much money in this. Not only too much money, I mean, everybody's anticipating this fight. It's going to sell, and people want to see this fight. So I believe it's going to happen.
Okay. If it does happen in June, July, that's a long time that both of these guys are out of the ring, but
especially Lomachenko.
Yeah. Mikey?
Yeah, from what I don't know, I read this, I heard it, I saw it somewhere that Bob Arum wants Lomachenko to fight Shakur Stevenson. If I'm not mistaken, they're both for top rank, right? So
Uh,
yeah,
Yes.
they're both
yes.
top
Yeah,
rank. If I'm
they're
not,
both top ranked fighters.
yeah, they're both top ranked fighters. So why is he gonna go sacrifice Lomachenko? Well, if he could make a mega fight with Shakur, I think, and but you know what, Lomachenko could get the belt if he does beat the undisputed champion. So I don't know, but I heard that Bob Arum wants to do the Shakur Stevenson versus Lomachenko.
Okay, for Lomachenko, I'm sure it's about belts and stuff like that, man. Like how you say, Mikey, daring to be great and showing the belts and all the prestigiousness that comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna be real, man. Or I guess I'll ask you guys, what fight makes more money, Loma versus Haney or Loma versus Shakur?
Go ahead, Dave. Go ahead, Dave.
You know what? Loma versus Shakur will make a lot more money. But I think that well, Shakur's already scheduled Mike to fight. I think he's fighting also in April. I mean, that's already come out. As a matter of fact, Sandor Sayas is going to fight under his card. I was reading about it earlier today. They already have the card set up. So yeah, that's not going to happen. It's going to be Devin Haney. That doesn't make sense because, like you said, Ed, you know what? He wants the belts. Lomachenko wants the belts. He wants his belts back, and he'll do anything to get those belts back. But Shakur Stevens already fighting. Yeah, that's already set up.
I mean, Shakur Stevens gets a fight at 135 to simulate to see where he's at 135, and then if let's just say Lomachenko loses to what's his name
So Devin Haney,
then it's not going to be as prestigious, I think.
No.
So what if they give Lomachenko just another fight to just stay busy? So it's all in negotiation. See what happens, man. We already had the Spencer Crawford fight dated, and we already were going to sit down and watch the fight, and it didn't happen. So we never know in boxing, right, Ed? You said it's a roller coaster. It's dark. So we'll see what happens. It doesn't make sense, but then it does make sense, and then it doesn't. I don't know, man. This is boxing, and we'll see.
Hey, check this out. I dropped a poll 9 days ago, okay? And I asked the question. I asked it, if you can only pick one fight to be made, here's the options of the two fights. You can only pick one fight to be made if it were up to you. Tank versus Ryan or Lomachenko versus Haney. 64% pick Tank versus Ryan.
Oh yeah.
That fight is not for all the marbles. Loma versus Haney is for all the straps, is for all the marbles. As a matter of fact, Tank versus Ryan is at a catch weight. The only one that has a title is Tank, and that's one of those Mickey Mouse belts, man, that don't really mean anything. I'll ask you guys, Mikey, which one would you rather pick? For you personally, it's up to you and you alone, man. Which one would you have made, and which one, cancel?
Yeah, Tank versus Garcia. That one's a freaking scary fight, man. I know there's no belts. I know that their catch weight, that's ridiculous, but that's a dope fight, man. Two young cats that need to prove themselves, and with mega power. Oh man, we're gonna be on the edge of our feet with the Haney. You know, it could be a boxing match. It could go either way. Garcia knocking him out or decision Haney. That's how I see it, and it could be a sleeper. Now this one's a great fight, man. The Tank versus Garcia.
David, which one would you pick?
You know what? Ditto. I would go Tank versus Garcia because that's a sure fight. Haney versus Loma, great fight, but you know what? It's gonna be a chess match. And they're going to be running around. Very, very seldom are they going to actually exchange. But this other fight, Tank and Garcia, I mean, it's going to start from round 2, round 3, and they're going to be exchanging. So, yeah, I'd rather see that fight. Now,
and it's not going to last.
If you were to put Caleb Plant and Benavides, I'd like to see how that would have ranked with those 3 fights. You know,
yeah, that's gonna be the next poll. I drop. I'm gonna drop it. There's 4 PBC pay-per-views Well, I mean, they're not all made. Like the Wilder and Ruiz fight isn't made either, but there's 4 of them, and they're all PBC Showtime. Fox looks like they've moved on. I don't think Fox is with PBC anymore. I think they're done with boxing. I did not read anything. I remember last year they had renewed. I'm sorry, renewed. They went with the extended year, but now with the year gone, I don't think I have not seen or read anything about Fox being with PBC anymore. So it seems like it's all Showtime, and they're all pay-per-view. But I will say this. Everything that you guys just said, man, yes. That's why I kind of come back to is Ryan kind of onto something? You know, do belts matter, or does it just matter of the fight and the fighters in it? Because yeah, Haney versus Loma is for all the straps, man. It's for all the belts. Most people would rather want to see Tank versus Ryan, which is a catch weight, and it's not for all the straps. And by the way, I agree. I'm in there too. I would pick Ryan versus Tank. So I've said it before, in boxing, you are your own product. You know, don't let the belt make you. You make the belt. You know, you are the champion, but you got to put yourself out there and make people want to watch you. You know, so dang. Yeah, that's crazy. I was asking that a while back, and I said, you know what, let me drop a poll. Let's see how most people feel about it. But yeah, well, hopefully we get both. How about that? Hopefully we get both. But
oh yeah.
Yeah. Gentlemen, so we got some fights tomorrow. For one, let's talk about Alexis Rocha. He's fighting tomorrow. David, that's your boy, man. You've kept a nice close eye on him. What do you make about this fight tomorrow?
You know, there's never an easy fight. You know what I mean? But if you were going to say that this is going to be a knockout, I would say this is going to be a knockout. And it might even be an early knockout. Mikey knows all about his opponent. I haven't studied his opponent, to be honest with you. But when an opponent comes and you know that he's going up in weight, and I believe fighting for the first time at this weight, that tells you something. I would have loved to have seen him fight somebody that we all know, somebody that is going to challenge him. I'm going to watch it because I like Rocha. I like the way he fights. Great fighter. I like him and his brother. But I don't think it's going to be a barn burner, como dicen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna fight a fighter from Ghana named Ashi. He's 33, 5-1, 25 knockouts, but he's a 135 pounder. Fought most of his fights in his home country of Ghana, if I'm not mistaken, what I put in my notes. And it's not Alexis Rocha's fault, because he had an opponent, and the opponent, I don't know, something happened to his opponent. It was and so now he has a replacement, and they brought this guy. I wish he could have got a replacement, maybe a tomato can that's really a welterweight, you know. But if he's gonna knock someone out, or someone's gonna get knocked out cold, and Rocha's gonna look phenomenal, it's gonna be this fight. But this is boxing; anything could happen. But nah, man, I don't like this. Man. I don't like this fight. I don't like it. Yeah, aprovechados.
Hey, you know what happened to Roberto Diaz? I heard about 2 or 3 weeks ago that he's no longer with Golden Boy. Does anybody know where he's at now?
I'm totally forgot about that.
Somewhere, because the guy's outstanding, but nobody's heard who's talking. Maybe that's why he's fighting who he's fighting, because Roberto Diaz isn't the matchmaker anymore.
You know, could be. No, I was thinking about that the other day. Where is Roberto Diaz? Where did he go? Is he just taking a small hiatus and then get back into the game?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know what happened, but you know what? I'll give him a call this next week. Maybe we could have him on next Friday or something.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Get him back on the show, and I'm sure he'll explain what happened.
Hey, Epic, I agree, man. Frank Martin should be in the mix. And he is gonna get his shot. I do like him, but because he's not really well known and really out there, not a lot of these top fighters are really going to fight him because there's not a lot of money to be made with him. And that's kind of going back, unfortunately, going back to what Ryan Garcia said. It's like, hey, titles don't matter if you're just here to make, whether you're just here to make money or whatever, it's still a business. But I do like Frank Martin, and I do hope he does get himself into a position, which I think he's in a position now to start getting in the ring with some of these top level fighters. But we'll see, man, because I do like Frank Martin. But yeah, Alexis Rocha, you know, I interviewed him. The guy seemed like a good guy, man, down in San Diego. And he told me right there in that interview, he said he's looking to fight 3-4 times this year. This is one of them, you know. So I'm glad it's happening early because I do want him to fight 3 or 4 times this year. But one thing that he did say that in that interview, that he's looking to have some fights across the pond. I'm telling everybody, man, look, everybody once upon a time wanted to come here to the good old US of A, baby, to fight. Why? Because it was all here. All the feria was here. You either fight in New York or you fight in Las Vegas. That means you were big time, Holmes. Big time, right? That's not so much the case anymore. There's a lot of money to be made across the pond, man. And it sucks, dog. It sucks to me that there's fighters from here that are looking to fight across the pond. They want to go across the pond because there's a lot of business, a lot of money to be made over there. Once upon a time, it was the whole world wanted to come here. They wanted to come to Vegas or Madison Square Garden. So, hey, man, you know what, Alexis, go get it, brother. Go get it. If you can go across the pond, go get it.
You know what, Ed? Right now is a perfect time because Eddie Hearn can make that happen.
Yeah.
With Matchroom, he can make it happen. Hey, you know what? I'm reading what Epic is saying about Frank Martin. You know what? I'd love to see Frank Martin fight Camarón Cepeda.
Oh, that would
be nice. I mean, they're both at 135 and they're both up and coming. That would be a great fight. Hopefully somebody can make that fight happen. That'd be an outstanding fight.
That would be nice.
Cepeda fights for Golden Boy, right? Cepeda, he fights for Golden Boy.
He fights for Golden Boy.
Yeah, and Frank Martin fights for PBC, right?
Yes, I believe it's for PBC, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a great fight. Outstanding.
Yeah, Hector Garcia has as much to bring to the table as Martin. Yeah, somewhere around there. I would say Hector Garcia kind of has the Dominican fans that will kind of push behind him, the countryman and stuff. Frank Martin doesn't really have a lot of fans. Not to say that Hector is blowing up with fans, but you know, he could start waving his flag around and get the whole Dominican behind him and stuff like that. So you know what? Hey, man, shout out to Frank Martin. I do want to see him do some, and that's a good fight, David. That's against Cepeda. Come on, man, that's a great fight right
outstanding.
There. So
Frank Martin, he's the one that his manager or he has ties to Errol Spence, correct?
Yes.
Frank Martin.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I saw him fight last. He's a good fighter. The guy's a future world champion, without a doubt. Yeah.
Orale, what's up, Hectic?
What's up, Hectic?
All right, guys, so let's go ahead and let's get into the fight that is happening across the pond tomorrow. Artur Beterbiev is getting in there against Anthony Yarde. This month was supposed to be a great month of fights, man. Jermell Charlo was supposed to be fighting against Tim Tszyu. That didn't happen. We did not get a lot of the great fights that we thought we were supposed to get here in the month of January. But this one, I'm glad to say it is happening. It's taking place tomorrow at an odd time because it is across the pond. Guys, I'm excited for this fight. David, man, what do you make of this fight?
You know, it's going to be a good fight. I have Artur Beterbiev beating him. It's going to be good, maybe 6, 7, 8 rounds. I think by the 8th or 9th round, he's going to knock him out. But it's going to be a good fight.
Okay. All right. Mikey?
Yeah, man. Anthony Yarde, man, he looks good. I watched a little film on him, and he looks good. He has power. He has 23 fights, 22 knockouts. So he has power on paper. But he's fighting Artur Beterbiev. But the good thing is that they're gonna fight in Yarde's backyard. So Yarde needs to utilize the crowd. And when I saw the weigh-in, he should have pushed Artur Beterbiev. He should have done something to get in his head to bring the crowd in. That psychological warfare. You gotta bring your edge. Because dude, you're fighting Beterbiev with 19 fights, 19 knockouts. And also there's a fact that we talked about it with Triple G. We're talking about it now. Artur Beterbiev last week a week and a half turned 38. That's old, man. That's old. He's 38 years old. And boxing, like I said, overnight you could get old. But according to the trainers, the training camp, man, everything was successful. They're healthy, and they're not even going for the knockout. They said Beterbiev is going to go for 12 rounds. Is it bluff? I don't know. So he's Anthony Yarde's fighting an uphill battle. It's going to be a good fight, but like Dave said, I think Beterbiev has too much skills. Two-time Olympian, too much power, too much skill, IQ. He can box. I see some boxing ability. So no, I don't think so, man. I don't think so. Artur Beterbiev by knockout.
Hey, Ed, and let me ask you a question. Who has Yarde fought? Yeah, he has what, 22-2, and what is it? He lost 23. He lost against Kovalev. He lost against Kovalev on August 4th, I believe, in 2019. When he lost against Kovalev, I think Kovalev knocked him out. I'll look it up right now. But Kovalev was already down when he lost against Kovalev. I mean, Kovalev wasn't at the top of his game in 2019, if you remember correctly. He was already spiraling down. He already had a sexual assault charge. He already had a charge because he touched a stewardess there in Fort Lauderdale. So he already was, literally fighting a rape charge during that time. And I believe he knocked him out. But you know what? Eddie Hearn is really pushing Yarde. Like, he's great. Who has he fought? I'm looking at his resume here, or his fight, and I'm looking at it, all these names. I don't know any of them, other than
he doesn't have many fights. I will say that.
No, Kovalev. That's the only one I know of all the names that I'm reading.
Yeah. And
the 175 isn't what until Canelo went to 175. That's when. But Colin Smith was at 175. Surda was at 170. Wasn't at 175. So it was Beterbiev and Bivol mostly, and we didn't really know them until Canelo went up. Yeah. And what's his name? The Russian dude. The Russian.
Bivol.
Kovalev.
Oh, Kovalev. Yeah. Joaquin says Beterbiev in 9 or 10, and then he says actually probably a little earlier, like Senor Contreras said. Hectic Nasty is saying Yarde to win, Holmes. I bet Yarde to win. What's up, Daniel Ortiz? Look, man. Okay, Mikey, how you said Yarde should have pushed him. Look, okay, look. I saw the weigh-ins. Okay,
they were nice.
Beterbiev has a stone cold face. I'm not pushing him, Holmes. I'm not pushing him. Once we got gloves on, hey, I'm not pushing him. That guy.
Yeah, he's a killer.
Dude, I'm telling everybody, man. If you guys did not watch the weigh-ins, go watch the weigh-ins. Yarde looked a little nervous, man. He's got that kind of nervous kind of smile and everything and laughing. Beterbiev was stone cold. He looked like a straight killer. He looked like somebody who has been in multiple battles, in multiple wars. Like, there's no phasing me. Like, I don't care if I live, I don't care if I die, and I don't care if you live or die. Killing you is like squashing an ant. He just has that look. And I was just like, wow, man. Yeah, if Yarde pushes him right then and there, I think Beterbiev would be like, I ain't waiting for tomorrow. We're gloves free, baby. Yarde looks good. He looks like he's in shape, young kid. I mean, does he stand a chance? Yeah, of course, man. But man, I don't see him beating Beterbiev. I do think it's gonna be a good 5 rounds. I think we're gonna see some good 5 rounds of some good boxing. And then Yarde is really the power of Beterbiev is gonna start breaking Yarde's body down, and Yarde is gonna stop throwing punches. He's going to be a lot more reluctant with his offense, and he's going to start fighting not to get hurt. And once you start doing that, you've pretty much just taken a knee, man. You've pretty much just tucked it in and say, like, okay, I'm fighting not to get hurt now. And Beterbiev is gonna sense that. And does he finish him? No, I don't think he does. If he finishes him, I think he finishes him in the first few rounds when Yarde is actually willing to engage. But once Yarde feels like, no, you know what, man, Beterbiev's power is just too much, and now I'm just gonna try not to get hurt. And because of that reason, I think it probably does go the distance. Should he get past the first 4 or 5 rounds, I don't think Beterbiev finishes them off, man.
Hey, Ed, can I respond to Epic? He's saying Beterbiev seems like the best pick, but I need to see some recent footage. Well, Epic, watch when he fought Joe Smith. He fought Joe Smith on June 18th of 2022 last year. You want to see a recent fight? Watch that fight, and then tell me what's going to happen tomorrow when he fought Joe Smith.
A round and a half.
Exactly. And Joe Smith's a good fighter. Yes, outstanding fighter, Joe Smith.
Yeah, made him look like a mannequin.
Yeah, watch that, Epic.
Yeah, you gotta watch
that. Hey, man, what's up to Beeb, man, from Ringside Reporter, man? Gracias that you're in here, big dog. I'm a fan of your show. I go cycling every Saturday, and I throw on the earbuds on, and I listen to you and what you guys were doing, man, every Thursday. That's a good channel right there, man. I don't know if you guys are still doing the Thursdays or not. I know Sundays you guys come on and do your thing. We were on there. David and I were on there as well, man. Good time. Good time. Yeah, I give Yarde a chance. I do. But he's got to get him early. Do I give him a good chance? No, I don't. He's got to get him early, and I don't think he's gonna get him early. And it's gonna be Beterbiev, man. But let me ask you guys this: should Beterbiev wins, what should he be saying after the fight? What should he be saying? We already got rumors, and we already got Bivol saying that he will move down to 168 for Canelo's belts. Can you change the course? Can you change his mind if you're Beterbiev and say, like, hey, why are you going down there, Holmes? I'm right here. What's up? Let's make this happen. David, can you?
Of course. I mean, it's all publicity. You know what I mean, Ed? Him saying, I'm going down to 168. Bivol wants the belts. And as soon as Beterbiev wins tomorrow, he's going to get on the microphone in that stout voice that he has, that $1,000 stare, mile stare that they call it, and he's going to say, Bivol, you're next, and we're going to see it. I hope we see it. Maybe not in September, but I hope we see it soon, because that's a fight that I'm really excited about. That'd be a great fight.
Mikey?
Yeah, man. The cash cow, the face of boxing, the Uno, the pound for pound. He's back. I don't know if you guys seen it on Instagram and social media. Canelo's training without a cast in his hand. He's back. Whatever the king does, everyone has to wait. So Beterbiev could call whoever he wants to call. Whatever the king wants, the king's gonna get, because money talks. Bivol said he wants to fight him at down. He's gonna fight him, but it's gonna come in the price. He's gonna get the 20 million at least if he fights Canelo. 15 to 20. Is he gonna get that with Beterbiev? That's the question. He's gonna get the belts, but he's gonna get the belts down there, and he's gonna fight him eventually when he moves back up. I think he's gonna get both. He's gonna do both, unless he loses to Canelo. But he loses to Canelo, he's got nothing to lose. He's gonna fight Beterbiev at 175. So whatever Canelo wants, everyone has to wait. That's how it was with Floyd Mayweather. That's how it was with De La Hoya.
Yeah, I don't know what he would do. I don't know what Bivol would do if Beterbiev wins. Should he win, which I believe he's going to win tomorrow, and he looks in the camera with that dead stare and say, like, yeah, you're next, or, I must break you, right? I don't know, man, because yeah, Bivol can make. He could be undisputed with one fight, with Canelo and one fight with Beterbiev, man. So I don't know. I don't know which way it goes. Now, one has a heck of a lot more money to it, right? But you also have to move down in weight. So, you got to weigh that out. So we'll definitely see what happens. So last predictions with this fight. David, call the round or the distance?
I said call the round between 8 and 9. He'll be out. Yarde will be out without a doubt.
Mikey,
it's no more. I'm just gonna say it. No more. He's not gonna go past 6. He's not gonna go past 6. He's gonna. This guy has tremendous power. He destroyed Smith Jr. in 2 rounds. Exactly. What do you think he's gonna do with this guy? I never fought nobody like Dave said. Yeah. He's not going. He's not going to the second half of the fight. I called it. I could be wrong, but Big Boy has mega power, dude. No passing 6.
Yeah, Hector Get Nasty is saying this will be Beterbiev's toughest fight.
No, man, come on, Hector. No way, man. Joe Smith, come on. Not only Joe Smith, Marcus Brown, Adam Nias. I mean, pull up his Caleb Johnson. I mean, no, there's no way, man.
I mean, I would say this, man. There is not a lot of there is not a lot of great fighters at 175. Yeah, Joaquin over there getting at you, Mikey. I said when it comes to Canelo. There is not a lot of great fighters at 175. There just isn't. So it's not like there's a big pool of great fighters to really have on your resume. There's a small selective few. And by the way, man, I don't know why people are not mentioning or why he's not getting more fights. I'm talking about Callum Smith. He's
great at that weight.
Yeah, he did what he did at 168. Yeah. Canelo tore his arm, tore his bicep. He moves up to 175. He did great things. He almost killed him, man. Yeah. So I really want to see more of Callum Smith at 175, man, because I believe, this is just my belief, man. I believe Callum Smith could possibly beat both of these guys. I'm not saying he will, but I'm saying if these fights happen, I don't think it's too crazy to favor Callum Smith against either Bivol or Beterbiev.
He's big, man.
Yeah. Long. So
power.
So, yeah, we will see what happens. David, anything else, brother, before we wrap it up?
No, that's it. Don't forget, hopefully you'll be able to watch our new show, The Gray Line, the true story or the story behind the blue line. Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Great show, right. Cop show.
All right. There's one of our cheating going-ons right there, Vanessa.
Ed, before I forget, next Wednesday on our Spanish show on Wednesday, we're going to have Rene, they call him Rene Manoplas. He's Venado's coach and also Villa's coach. Villa, the one that fought Rashid Alice. So he's going to be with us next Wednesday. So if you want to watch or have any questions for their coach, he's going to be on next Wednesday at 7 o'clock with Mikey and I.
Nice. Mikey, any last words?
Yeah, Joaquin, man, we're going to have to face off like Nicolas Cage, man, because anything about Canelo, I could back it up with facts, man. That's the pound-for-pound king, man. Sorry, Joaquin.
Yeah, and you guys check out my boy Mikey down there, man, on Mike Angelino Boxing, so you guys gotta go check him out. He'll go one-on-one on his channel, man. He's there. He'll go live and he'll take on all upcomers, man. You guys want to go ahead and criticize or whatever, man, make it happen. But hey, whatever you guys do this weekend, be safe doing it so we could come back and do it again. Enjoy the fights tomorrow to the next round. We'll catch you guys then.